What's good, geeks? I'm Jake. I'm Gen X.
I'm Anna. I'm Gen Z.
And we are Generational Geeks.
Today we are reviewing
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And this is another Disney Plus addition to the MCU. This is an American television miniseries for Disney Plus based on the Marvel comic book characters Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes. So that's Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And it is set in the MCU and takes place after Endgame? Yes.
Yes.
Endgame.
Yes. The actors, of course, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Anthony Mackie as Falcon from several MCU movies, obviously. Detroit and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Have you seen
Alright,
that?
no I have not, but it sounds interesting.
The book's better.
I didn't even know it was a book or a movie.
Yep.
Sebastian Stan as the Winter Soldier from several MCU movies. Black Swan and Logan Lucky. Wyatt Russell as John Walker / the new Captain America from Cowboys and Aliens and Overlord. And lastly, Erin Kellyman as Carly from Solo, a Star Wars story. I think that's the full
something
name.
like that. The Solo movie, the Disney Star Wars Solo movie.
As usual, this is a spoiler-free discussion, review type thing.
If we do have spoilers at the end, we will give you plenty of warning.
Yes.
I haven't decided at this point if I want to do a spoiler-filled rant or not.
Rant? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this was 6 episodes. All the episodes were around 50 minutes, and some had mid-credit scenes, and some did not. Yes. This is rated TV 14 for violence and some language.
Of course. This was listed as an action-adventure drama and was released on March 19th, and episodes were released weekly, every Friday.
Yeah, and we would usually stay up after midnight on Thursday and watch them, so then we didn't get any spoilers.
Yes.
I think only one of them we didn't do that with, and I was just too tired to stay up.
Yeah.
Because we had started a movie, so by the time we got to the new episode, it was like 1:30 or something like that. I was ready for bed.
I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do this.
So this follows the events of Avengers Endgame, and Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes team up in a global adventure that tests their abilities and their patience.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So what
tested my patience a little.
It definitely tested Mom's.
Yes. She did not care for it at all.
Not at all.
No.
We were like, this last episode, and she was like, goody! What stood out as positive?
So, I mean, the acting, of course, was good.
Of course, it's a Marvel thingy.
It's the same characters that
Same cast.
Yeah, the same cast, same characters that were in the movies. It did have some good plot twists, and most of them were pretty obvious. But
Some
there
of them
were a
not so
couple
obvious.
yeah. I mean, Marvel's been good all the way through Phase 4. I think Spider-Man Far From Home ended Phase 4. So the only thing we've gotten from Phase 5 so far is WandaVision and
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yes. So they're still moving in a direction, but my interest is starting to wane even more than after WandaVision. I think I gave WandaVision a 6, if I remember right. So I did like this a little bit more than WandaVision. What about you?
I liked WandaVision more.
Of course you did.
Of course I did.
This didn't take as long to get going.
Well,
Yeah.
But you're just impatient.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. I watched WandaVision. If
But you were still impatient about it.
If I was impatient, I would have just quit watching because it took too long to get going.
No. What stood out as negative?
Well, I did want to say one thing. That the performances were good. And unlike the MCU movies, this was not overly filled with comedy.
Yes, it had a good amount of comedy.
Yeah, and you know, and it wasn't always trying to go for a laugh, because sometimes, you know, MCU does it really well in their movies, but there's other movies that do it and they don't do it well. It's too much. But I think it takes away from kind of the drama and the suspense, and takes you out of, like, if they're in a serious scene and then somebody just pops a joke, it kind of takes you out of it. Especially if somebody's life is supposed to be on the line, and then they're just blatantly joking about it. It kind of ruins that scene. But they didn't really have any of that in this, so I did want to say that as a positive.
All right. So negatives.
Negative. I don't know. I didn't feel like these were the same
people,
characters that we had in the movies. They seemed different in the series, and I don't know if that's just because it was so much more focused on them, because these are both kind of like second tier characters from the movies that they made a series about. So I don't know if it's the fact that they're focusing more on them that kind of changes how they're perceived. And then I kind of feel like there was a couple woke scenes, and they were trying to forcefully inject real world politics into this, which isn't why I watch shows like this. So what about you?
Pretty much the same.
Good.
I watch Marvel stuff, superhero stuff, to see superheroing, not real world politics.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
I watch YouTube channels and stuff for my real world politics. I don't need to watch Disney Plus for my real world politics.
there's a time and the place, and this was not the time nor the place.
Right. And we keep politics and stuff happening in the real world out of our videos, so when we're watching something that we want to talk about in our videos and they start throwing that in there,
it's harder.
It's hard for us not to talk about it. So, but we're not going to.
Yeah.
Not now. Maybe in the future. I don't know. So really that was what stood out as negative. I think my final rating for this is a 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5. That seems reasonable.
And it wasn't due to
the politics that were shown.
No, it wasn't. And it's just mainly, I don't know. I had a hard time investing in them. I really didn't. I felt that the bad guys that they had were just really bland.
Yeah.
And I didn't care for them. And they were just, I guess they were like second tier bad guys.
Yeah.
Because they were fighting second tier heroes. So I guess that's one way to put it. But at the same time, it's just like...
And some of the dialogue options were interesting.
Yeah.
With the
and they
villains.
just seem to have a lot of dead time, too. Where they had a lot of times where they were doing dialogue and fixing a boat and spending a lot of time in that area.
Yeah, it's like it's a 50-minute show. You don't have to add on to that by adding unneeded things.
Yeah.
Special effects were great.
Yeah, they were.
Marvel
I mean, it's
thing,
Marvel,
so.
Disney, you know, unlimited money basically for these shows. So I think we'll talk a little bit about spoilers starting now. So if you haven't seen it,
spoiler warning,
and you don't want spoiled, you can tune out now. Share us with your grandma,
so she can share us with her book club.
And now we're going to talk about some spoilers. Nothing really major, just
stuff that we can't talk about in a normal review.
Right. So for me, I want to talk about what was the name of the bad guy group?
Flag Smashers.
Flag Smashers. They were these super soldier characters, and they just, I don't know, I couldn't get invested in them at all. And even from the first scene where you saw the guy, I think it was at the end of episode 1, he comes out and he beats the crap out of somebody. You can tell he's definitely
a bad guy.
A bad guy, and he's had either, super soldier serum or some kind of enhanced abilities. So, he's going to end up being the bad guy, but then he just ends up working for the bad guy. And for me, the best characters in this were, what was his name, Zemo?
Yeah.
And who was the other person that I was thinking of? I don't know, Zemo was like the best character in this whole thing, and he was only in like half the episodes.
Yeah.
And his frickin' butler killed more super soldiers than anybody else in the whole show. And then you have like Falcon fighting the main bad guy chick, Carly. And, sometimes she can punch his vibranium shield and he doesn't move, and sometimes she punches it and he's like flying across the room, and it's like the whole point of vibranium is to absorb
the
force
shock of the impact.
And then there's a scene where Sam is fighting this non-super soldier guy. He's like an arms dealer. Should totally wipe the floor with him, but he's not using any of his
abilities.
His abilities that come with his wingsuit or anything. And he actually throws a shield at the guy one time, and the guy throws a plastic chair. And it deflects the shield. It was just, there was just so many of those things like that. And then you have, like, Winter Soldier who can go toe-to-toe with Captain America with his shield. Captain America has his shield.
Like normal Captain America, not the new one in this
can go
one.
toe-to-toe with him, but Winter Soldier is having a hard time with these run-of-the-mill, enhanced bad guys that he should just be able to wipe the floor with. So there was just things like that. But, it's second-tier heroes with second-tier bad guys, and I guess that's kind of what we get. Oh, John Carter, the second Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
I cared more about his arc than Falcon or Bucky by the end of the show. I mean, he had better arc than they did, and Zemo had a better arc than they did, and they're the main characters.
Yeah. And I mean, they're already established characters, but at the same time, they can still go through character arcs and like moments and stuff to make you invested in their character even more.
Well, now I'm reading somewhere that they're talking about making a Captain America 4. So I don't know if they're going to bring back Steve Rogers.
Or if they're going to bring in Falcon.
Falcon, yeah, because Falcon at the end
is Captain America.
Even the title of the show went from Falcon and the Winter Soldier to Captain America and the Winter Soldier. But we called him Captain Falcon America. Because he's still got his wingsuit, but then he's got the shield, and the Wakandans kind of hooked him up on his wingsuit.
Yeah.
So
it looks cool.
It does look cool, but
he has 2 red wings now.
Yeah.
Not just one.
Right. The little scout thing that he can send out and shoot stuff. So I don't know if the show is going to really add anything to the MCU as a whole. Kind of like WandaVision. Unless, the last scene in that show, that could lend to Doctor Strange. But I don't really see anything in this.
Yeah, nothing in this changed anything.
Maybe if they continue with the John Walker, because at the end he was, what was he? Agent America.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had like a black suit with some red and white on it. So, still the same style suit as his Captain America suit.
Yeah.
But
some
it was
people
just a
might
different
say
color.
oh, they made Falcon Captain America in this. Well, yeah, but they did an Endgame too. Like, that was the purpose of giving him the shield. Yeah. So it's not like anything really is changing.
But, you know, and like John Walker, by the end of the show, he's taken the super soldier serum. But when he was Captain America, when they gave him the shield, he wasn't enhanced.
Yeah.
And now, you know, the only enhancement that Sam has is the wingsuit.
Yeah.
You know, he was still going toe-to-toe with
super soldiers
for the most part. But, I don't know. We'll see. Unless they use John Walker, you know, the new Captain America that was Captain America for a couple episodes in future MCU projects, then
I don't see it going anywhere.
I don't see this show really adding anything to the MCU. And I kind of thought that was going to be the point of these series, especially the limited series. You know, this is limited as far as one season, and WandaVision, they're pretty sure it's just going to be one season. So if it's one season, you'd think it would add something to the MCU as a whole. But I'm not seeing where these are. But, you know, I'm wrong a lot. And I don't know what they do in Hollywood. I don't want to know what they do in Hollywood as long as they just keep putting out decent stuff. But right now, MCU, I'm just not feeling it. I'm cautiously looking forward to Loki.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm very much...
the What If.
Yeah, the What If.
The What If. I'm very much so looking forward to that, but that's not canon.
Get out of the MCU. I'm looking forward to the Bad Batch, which comes out in just over a week. So I'm looking forward to that. You know, it's still the animated style that I like from Clone Wars, and it's still Favreau and the other guy working on it. Can't think of his name right now, but I'm cautiously optimistic for both Loki and the Bad Batch. So,
but I mean, at least Clone Wars ended on a good note.
Yes, it did. Yeah, best season ever. Well,
yeah.
Two-thirds of it were the best season ever. So, you know,
I had erased that from my mind. Why did you have to remind me?
We could continue talking about the spoilers and what we didn't like and what we did like, but we're gonna end it here. Share us with your grandma,
so she can share us with her book club.
Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm Gen X.
I'm Gen Z.
And we are Generational Geeks.